Your relative just passed away and she left you an inheritance of 1,000 euros. What would you like to do with it?
Three people will now be able to make the decision of taking the money now or in 10 years. They are all interested in spending the money on buying apples, currently priced at 2 euros an apple. So let's see what they decide.
I would like to take the money now. Each apple costs 2 euros, which means with 1,000 euros I can buy 500 apples.
I'm gonna take the money now so that I can put it in a bank where they have promised me a 4% interest rate, and so I'm hoping to increase the value of my money over time.
I'm currently actually not in an immediate need for money, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until I'm actually short of money, and then I'm going to take the 1,000 euros so I can put the 1,000 euro to much better use.
Since person 1 decides to withdraw all the money and buy apples with it, the price paid for one apple relative to the time of receiving the money is 100%. It must be noted that no interest or inflation is affecting the purchasing power of the money as it's used immediately. The price per apple is 2 euros, and with 1,000 euros you can buy 500 apples.
We then see person 2 taking the 1,000 euros and then going on to invest in a bank at a 4% interest rate per annum, which will add to his account every year. After 10 years, he then ends up with the sum of 1,480 euros. But considering that inflation goes up at an average of 2% per year, adding up all this amount after 10 years will end up with the price of an apple at 2.44 euros per apple, rounded to 2 decimal places. We then go on to the division of 1,480 divided by 2.4, we end up with 607 apples, which comes up to a surplus of 107 apples extra.
After 10 years, person 3 is in need of money and decides to retrieve the 1,000 euro, which he has inherited 10 years before. The inflation rate in those 10 years was 2%, and this compound inflation rate has increased the price of an apple from 2 euro to 2.44 euro. Because of this, person 3 can now buy 409 apples with the 1,000 euro, which is 91 apples less than person 1 could buy, who bought it immediately.
Person 1 took the 1,000 euros immediately and bought 500 apples at the price of 2 euros per apple. Person 2 invested the money and got 1,480 euros and was able to buy 607 apples at the price of 2.44 euros per apple by the end of the 10-year period. Person 3 takes the money in 10 years and is able to buy 409 apples due to inflation. This is the graphical representation of what we've just said, and as we can see, investing the money is the best option unless you want the money immediately. As for taking the money in 10 years is the worst option you can take because you forego the interest that you would have earned otherwise. That is the opportunity cost. Not just that, the value of 1,000 euros decreases over the 10 years and the person ends up with even less apples than he would have had if he had made the purchase initially.